Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, I'm going to be playing a slightly best-of-one tweaked version of a deck that Javier Dominguez, the world champion of Magic, by the way, and Marcio Carvalho played in the first Fandom Legends event with the new cards from Throne of Eldraine. Fandom Legends is a 16-player tournament held every Thursday, and this one was the first one with Throne of Eldraine cards. So seeing some great players play with new cards is always exciting, and this one put together the mix of all the things that I've found to be the strongest in the set so far. Now, of course, we have some holdovers from the last set. Elementals, Leafkin Druid, Risen Reef, those two hanging out. We have the combination of Nissa Who Shakes the World and Hydroid Krasis, just very, very powerful cards from the last set. But now we introduce the food package. Gilded Goose, Oko Thief of Crowns, my favorite card from the new set, Wicked Wolf. The food package just demoralizing all kinds of aggro and mid-range decks by creating this absolutely indestructible blocker that comes down and kills something right away. And it's also it just seems impossible to kill an indestructible creature these days. You might bounce it with Teferi or Brazen Borrower, but it just comes back down and bites something else. It's just a really nasty card. Just like, look at the art. I mean, that's like a lion mane of spikes. Nasty. So this deck is just pure power. Just put it out there and go strong. One copy of Once Upon a Time. I am going with this route of one copy. And I was really hyped for this card in the beginning, but here's my take. When you draw the card in your opening hand, it's great. When you draw it later in the game when mana is no problem, it's great. When you draw it anywhere in between, whether it's on turn 2 or turn 6, it is usually a really bad draw because you need to be doing other amazing things on all of those turns to keep up with our opponents in this format. This format is just get on the board. And if you're spending 2 mana looking for cards, it's a problem. It's a problem for cards like Discovery Dispersal. It's a problem for cards like Anticipate, and it's also a problem for cards like Once Upon a Time. The mana base, I just laid it out this way so you could see some of the choices. 4 Fabled Passage to fix the mana, and because it gets an untapped land once you have 4 lands or more, and only 1 Temple of Mystery. So the Scry lands, the Scry temples, are kind of taking a backseat to the extreme tempo of Eldraine that's going on right now. There is a sideboard. If you're interested in best of 3, check it out. I've only made a couple minor tweaks, getting more Veils of Summer in there and moving what was the 3rd Wicked Wolf from the sideboard to the main deck. But there is a sideboard. If you want to try some best of 3, you can definitely post your findings. And we're going to go play a constructed event with this and see if we're ready to go to 7 wins with this deck. So, battle faces on. Let's go. Round 1, game 1. No blue mana and a bunch of blue mana requiring cards. Will we get there? Will we get there? Let's try for better. All right, green and then blue and a Paradise Druid on 2. This is definitely better. I think that putting back the Krasis makes the most sense. We'll just have to draw another one later when we have more mana available. I could withhold information. I'm just not being that guy. It adds like about 4 extra clicks to the game. I'd rather not. Red mana. Off to the races, and somehow this mountain stopped the music. I do hate that the music gets stopped these days. So I could play the Paradise Druid, or I could play this Goose and not shock. And the Goose can actually block the Scorch Spitter. Paradise Druid has hexproof. It's kind of tough. There's arguments for both. Let's see if the Goose can live. If the opponent has to spend their turn shocking the Goose, that's fine too. It means they didn't play a Cavalcade. And they don't have another 1-drop, so I'm expecting to see like a Chandra Spitfire or something here. The slow-mo implies that they have another shock and a risk factor. There's one you don't see as often these days. Alright, took a mulligan, got punished by missing land drop 3. Never good. But the opponent's got to go for this risk factor, right? In which case they're spending their whole turn charring my face. Because I'm taking it, I'm not giving them the cards. I don't think that's a good turn 3. think that'll drop you behind on the board in this format. All right, off the top. Rough. This is rough. Because I really don't want to expose my Paradise Druid here. I could play Oko and make a 3/3. I want to save, I want to have my Time Raveler available, I really, really do, to bounce something along the lines of a bird, a Steamkin, not a Steamkin, a Spitfire. If I play the Risen Reef and try to hit a land, and I miss, I'm in a horrible place next turn while all I have is a 1/1 and 2 lands. I think that makes Oko the play, and I think the play with Oko is to make a 3/3. D up. And no attacks. We'll make the opponent go through this. Because if Oko survives, it can turn the Chandra Spitfire into a 3/3 food as well. Take those abilities away. And we have a second one. That's the other good news. If the opponent finds a way to kill it with the fire card, whatever that is, we'll be okay. Tin Street Dodger. Shock your face. Opponent selling out for face damage here, possibly? Skewer the Critics. What do you attack? My god, that's an efficient turn. Look at all that 1 mana power. But they're attacking Oko.
So hostile to the truth.
That's the good news. They attacked Oko. Let's make a food, I think. Making these lose abilities doesn't mean anything. Food can be sacrificed for life.
Surely you must be famished.
Now I could play the wolf. I have to shock to do it. I think that's worth it. Pay 2 life. Shock. Here's the wolf. Wolf with a food is indestructibility. Let's take out the Dodger, because the Dodger, you can pay a mana to make it unblockable. And let's say go. So this turn, let's see, we've got a Scorched Spitter. There's a risk factor that can be jump-started from the graveyard. There's a Skewer the Critics that's exiled. I believe it should be the Skewer next to the Scorched Spitter and then this in the graveyard. I think this is a little goofy. Yeah, these two are from Light Up the Stage and this is in the graveyard. Attack. Yeah, that'll give you Spectacle. Nom. Kind of a weird take. Opponent's just trying to get there by going face now. So I can't take 4 from their risk factor or I die to the Skewer the Critics. And I guess the opponent's trying to drive that point home here. Another Spitter. What else you got? If they play this right now, I have to let them draw 3. They discarded a Frenzy, though. I don't know, you guys. If you decline, the opponent draws 3. I always have to read it again. All right, my turn. The food is online, my friends. The food is online. And I think I just want to make more food. I'm going to sacrifice one of these now to be at 7. Just to be sure, so that the opponent can't, like, play the 3 mana, 4 damage to a target, and then respond by playing it again if I sack. And then we'll say go. We're just going to try to eat food. Eat a lot of food. You've got the Cavalcade. Okay. What else do you have? You're going to throw your Spitter in there just to do the damage? That'd be pretty bizarre, I think. Yeah. All right, more food. If the opponent kills my wolf in response, whatever. I think that life total matters a lot, and just having a food engine here, 3 life a turn, it's really hard for a red deck to deal with. All right, let's play you. We don't have 2 pieces of food anymore anyway. Play you tapped. Pass turn. Just keep gaining life. Now we'll start getting out mana so we can start doing multiple things in a turn. And just grind them out. Torch Courier. So with Torch Courier, this is a scary card because the opponent can give haste to a Chandra Spitfire. And maybe they were holding a Spitfire. That would have been very next level. Let's see if they've got it. And no. No. Oko is too much on its own, too much loyalty, too much life. And the Red Mage packs it in. Leafkin Druid, Oko, and some Nissas, and 3 land on the play? You betcha. Why wouldn't we try that? Now it's interesting because I could use Passage now because I'm not sure it will be untapped. I need a 4th land for that to happen, so I think I will. And I think we just get a green here. A forest to produce extra mana with Nissa. It does sign us up to take some damage from our mana base, but this deck can recover from that. Gilded Goose on 1, must be nice. Let's play the Leafkin. I love playing the Leafkin after the Risen Reef, but I'm not willing to play off curve for it. Edgewall Innkeeper. Whenever you cast a creature spell that has an adventure, draw a card. Okay. Okay, somebody's digging into the Fairy Tale mechanic. Doubly digging in. Gotcha. So this must be some kind of card draw engine. Oko may just need to make those into 3/3s or something, but we'll see what happens. Foxen Intruder has an adventure, and that's draw 2. Our opponent with an unbelievable starting hand. Unbelievable. We'll pay 2 life and we'll drop a Risen Wolf. Here comes the cold water. Let's eat one of the Edgewall Innkeepers at least and slow them down a little. Here's a Woodland Champion. Whenever a token enters the battlefield, a +1/+1 counter. Curious Pair makes a token. What are we going to do? Our opponent is certainly on a mission to make life miserable. We could just set the opponent back by bouncing the champion. We could start making food. Oko could also turn this into a 3/3. I think I need to draw a card, but man, it's also really tempting to try to get to enough creatures for this to produce more mana, because here we are stuck on mana. Let's go with the little Teferi setback. Take away the Woodland Champion, try to hit our land drop. We did it. Nothing else to do with 2 mana this turn though, so this can come into the battlefield tapped. And the next turn, Nissa can probably solve our mana woes. Now what can this deck do? You see that there is an Edgewall Innkeeper to draw cards when the adventure creature is cast. There's the Woodland Champion to get bigger whenever they make a token, so there's got to be a lot of food going on. It's definitely a strong synergy deck. Figuring out how to break it up is going to matter. And okay, that was not a terrifying turn. I'm feeling okay. Let's go get another forest so that we get all the Dubs mana off the Nissa. Plus you, because there's nowhere else to go.
This might be a bad idea.
Tap this for mana. Here we go. So do we want the Risen Reef? Or do we want the Oko? Oko making food makes Wicked Wolf a really good blocker. It says whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice it to destroy an artifact or enchantment. That's not particularly scary. I could send this in. If the opponent blocks it with the champion, do they have another way to make a token enter the battlefield? No. Then I'm trading with one of their better cards. I think they'll take it. And they do. So now Oko can come down and food up so that the wolf is indestructible.
Shear the wool from your eyes and spin you.
And your turn.
Welcome to the feast.
We're a little bit vulnerable, but I don't know what the opponent can do to this. Don't know what they can do to this. Now, the sad thing is if we want to save it from something, we do have to tap it, so it might let the opponent attack our Nissa, which I think would be the target. But I have another Nissa. So this is a really risky play if I didn't have a backup Nissa. There's the Rabid Bite. Okay, so we've got to eat the food, it will tap. And now the opponent can attack the Nissa down. Let's see what they actually choose to attack. Yeah, I had a feeling it would be Nissa. Nissa's too strong. It's gonna be quite the tilt when you see Nissa number 2. Huh? Are they changing their mind? No, they are not. Or are they? Weird. The opponent must have a way to get one more token. Yeah, is this a sorcery though? It is. Yeah. If they had another treats to share, they could have played it first to grow this. Looks like they didn't have it. So again, nowhere to go with Teferi but up. May as well.
Don't worry.
What else are we doing? Oko Food. Risen Reef Nissa. Feels pretty good. This can tap for 2 mana once we make one more creature.
It's not poisoned. Trust me.
Let's take 2. Let's play Big Ol' Nisha.
Together, we will prevail.
Let's throw a Hallowed Fountain at the opponent here, I think. We just need a blue. And may as well not untap one of our lands. That taps for double in case anything bad will happen to it. The plan is to play Risen Reef off the Leafkin, which now makes 2 mana, and the Hallowed Fountain after combat. Vigilance, so these can attack. We could attack for 4 with the Wolf and not bother defending our Planeswalkers. Hitting the opponent for 10 is a lot, and it puts them in a position where they have to start blocking or sacking their food tokens very soon. But I think I like this as a blocker. The opponent is, I mean, these will both, this will be here as a blocker anyway. And so will this. Yeah. We can send the Wolf in as well. And then here comes the Reef. Keep the cards coming. It's a goose. But I don't want to play the goose. I'd rather have the 3/3 available. Curious Pair is going to draw a card, but only makes a little 1/3 body. So it's a little bit of value on top of what is otherwise a pretty soft little pair of cards. Here's Once Upon a Time. If you're spending your mana searching your library at a time like this, that's gotta be good for me. And that's the scoops. Whoa. Of course I keep such a silly hand. Of course I do. So much Leafkin. Red mana. Boo. Red Mage, you are the enemy. Still, I have trouble not saying hello to a hello type. Let's dance. If the opponent wants to shock this, that is fine with me. Stage got lit. All the 1-drops are coming, but the opponent chooses to go with the shock. So that's fine with me because it takes away from their turn. Let's play another Leafkin, and then next turn we can play a Risen Reef and a Leafkin and get some value. But here's my blockers. We're going to need a payoff. We'll need to draw some large threat. Our Planeswalkers would be nice. Okay. The opponent is really concerned with killing my things. I think it would be way better to, I don't know. The goose makes food, right? Food is life. In the long run, the goose might be the more dangerous card. It's hard to say. So, we'll lead with Risen Reef. See what happens. Teferi. Alright. Pay 2 life. Leafkin. Get more cards. Nice. That is something we needed. The opponent is impressed with my play. These guys are tough. 3 red, +1/+0 to creatures you control. But the opponent's getting dodgy. No Cavalcade yet. Alright, I'll take the rest. Let's keep the Reef around. At least for 1 more turn cycle. There's an Ember Hauler. Ember Hauler killing what? The Druid? Okay. Could be worse. Hallowed Fountain. Let's see what we can hit here with our second Risen Reef. Man. It is tough, though. I want this to make double green, potentially, but it's not going to this turn, right? I may as well do it like this. Green, blue, green. And then maybe we have to pay 2 life for our Teferi. That's kind of rough, but let's see what we find. More Teferi. Decline, I want to put... No, I don't want to put it in my hand. I need to put it on the battlefield. I thought about not shocking, but I have to because there's a green source and we wouldn't have a blue source. So, all right, pay 2. Down to 8. Getting scary in here. Bounce the Scorched Spitter. Buy a little bit of time. Do not attack. I'm definitely going to trade my Reefs now if I get the opportunity. It's time to trade Reefs. Base. You have a Skewer? Ooh, that stings. I flew too close to the sun. Ooh. Urgh. That makes me angry. Oh. I thought I was safe. I was not. Bounce back game. Gotta shake off tough losses, carry forward. Goose and Oko are gonna team up and try to do it. And Wicked Wolf, who was very absent against Red, definitely the best matchup for this card, is ready to rumble here. Will the mana follow? I've had my Goose cooked on turn 1 more times than I can count. Is this gonna be like the 5th time today I've had my Goose cooked on turn 1 by a shock? Let's find out. Interesting. Well, I'm going straight to Oko Town. Let's start making some food. Worst case scenario, I'll start cranking out 3/3s if I have to.
I will invert the world to watch kings grovel and worms root one bite.
So what's the opponent got here? If they have a shock and they're really not using it on the Goose, I think they're going to get punished. That or they're playing full control mode or they have that haggle card, something like that. So the top deck is Once Upon a Time. 3 mana doesn't do much here. There's no road to 4 mana. I think that it's Once Upon a Time, hit your land drop. I think that's the play. Once Upon a Time for a land. About a land. Jeez. Don't know what's going on. Maybe our opponent has Carnival Carnage. That's a card that would hold priority. Okay, we see some land. I could shock myself to have another Goose this turn. And it's fine. It's in the colors we need. We don't need a Fabled Passage, so yeah. I don't see a reason not to shock myself yet. And have the potential of Nissa next turn. I don't want to try to turn one of my Goose into a 3/3, so let's turn one of our foods into a 3/3. This one is not the one that entered the battlefield this turn.
I invite you to change your ways.
Yeah. Ring in the beats. Might as well get busy. Now you might say, but CGB, you need a food to play the Nissa. I can make a food with the Oko. Rhythm of the Wild. Oh boy. This is the rhythm of the wild. Let's go Nissa. It's go time, Nissa. So who's attacking? I guess this plus Goose can make a food. I could also turn one of my Goose into a 3/3 and slam with that. It's kind of tough. But I have a Wicked Wolf who may need to fight. Maybe I need to pump the brakes on the aggro with a Rhythm of the Wild on the other side and just make a food and be satisfied. I could turn this into a 3/3 so it's better to attack next turn. It's an option. So right now, Goose can make food. Maybe I just do that now and then turn the food into a 3/3. And then I have a 3/3 to kind of defend, and next turn. Oh, wrong button.
I think a little merriment is in order.
Slow down, CGB. Click the right things. Gotta get used to the, like, where the abilities fall. One thing I have trouble with, but, you know, let me know if I'm not alone in comments on this. Am I the only one who has a really hard time casting Murderous Rider correctly? I always want to cast the Murderous Rider, the 2/3 lifelink, when I mean to cast the Swift End. Something about the Swift End being on the left means I never try to cast it. I always try to cast the Murderous Rider from the right. And the opponent says, I'm out of here. I played one Rhythm of the Wild and I'm too far behind, so gone. Slow hand. Ugh, we could be so far behind before we get to do anything, but I'm leaning on Teferi and Wicked Wolf to catch me up. Mountain, but nothing. All right. What's this got for us? Yes. Bingo. Just what we needed. Red-green Paradise Druid. Druid versus Druid. The Druid on the play is so much better than the Druid on the draw. So we're going to be on the comeback in this game. Roar. You're going to hear me roar. What's the play? It's going to be so hard to deal with. I think we just have to wolf up the opponent's Paradise Druid and then start making food for the wolf. Because once the wolf is indestructible, it can block this until it's large enough. But if the opponent has a good follow-up, we're in a ton of trouble. We'll be at 12. I don't know how we'll deal with their other threats. Are you kidding? I mean, how much better can you do? How much better can you get at Magic? All right, if they have anything to make me tap the wolf, it's over.
You're quite charmed to meet me.
If they have anything to make me tap the wolf pre-combat, I'm just dead. If I get to block and trade with the Questing Beast, at least I get to do something. I don't think I can go to 2 either, so I think Paradise Druid is chump blocking. I think Paradise Druid is chump blocking the Ferox. Let's see how the opponent plays it. They might be too afraid to trade their Questing Beast. They still have 3 cards in hand. What's relevant? Like, if they have a removal spell, all they have to do is play it. Like a Domri's Ambush. Well, maybe they can't. Maybe because of the Ferox, they can't. Okay. I mean, that's awesome. I don't... Like, what am I supposed to do about this? I mean, are you insane? Look at this start. Look at this hand. Look at this start. This is... Wow. On the play, what am I supposed to do? We shall fight. That's what we shall do. Goes 4/4. Huh. Okay. What's the attack? Attack Oko. If that's all you do, I can just block and grow my wolf. You gotta do better than that. Yeah, here's the beast. Okay. So Wicked Wolf eats the beast. Paradise Druid saves the Oko. And the next turn, we can make another food. We can bounce something with Teferi. Land off the top. All right, this is definitely a food, right? It feels like it has to be so the wolf can keep blocking and growing. Do I want a Teferi bounce? Like, bouncing Spellbreaker doesn't do much. Bouncing Pelt Collector's good. But I could also play a Risen Reef. A Risen Reef could block the Ferox while Wolf fights anything else. I think that's better, because it might even ramp me. Teferi bouncing these just isn't enough. Take the action. Make a food. Hope the opponent doesn't kill the wolf. MVP wolf. Let's go. Let's go, buddy. Good doggo. Keep me alive. What's it gonna be? Oh my gosh, I'm terrified. Like a Collision Colossus could be such a blowout, right? Tax Oko. Is that it? I will block. I will food. Could be a trap if they have a way to instant speed deal that much damage to the wolf, but I just don't see it. Growth Chamber Guardian. They're stalling. They're stalling. Their hand was at so much gas, but now they're stalling. We have a shot. So this shouldn't keep making food. This can go get a thingy. And I think the play was going to be Risen Reef, Leafkin Druid, start working on chaining elementals and getting further ahead. I don't think Teferi bouncing something's particularly great there. But the opponent just scoops it. Just frustrated. Wolf Oko. Locking down the board. That is a combo. This hand starts with a goose and goes to an Oko, and then we're on the play, so it's just an automatic snap keep. This don't do it for you. What does? What does, people? We've gotten this far without doing Nissa Hydroid Crassus things. Would be nice to do that some. We've got a Voracious Hydra, which, you know, that works with Nissa too. But I haven't gotten my big old Hydroid Crassus on. Here's my eagle sounding goose. Should definitely be some kind of a honk. I'm going to keep complaining till it happens. Sacrifice food. Make a blue. Here we go. Use that clunkiness. Here's Oko.
Open your heart to the magic.
Create food token.
I think a little merriment is in order.
6 loyalty on turn 2. So huge. Our opponent with 2 Knights of the Ebon Legion, and they're going to start attacking Oko right away.
Mind to your folly.
See, we have 4 mana, so we can Hydra fight. Add 1 mana of any color. Wait, it has to be green, and I don't know what I selected because it was being whack. There we go. Because we only have 1 green source on the field. Auto pay that. Let's do a fight. Target creature you don't control. Eat that. And now we can make a food here, but we can also do this. Make our Hydra a base 3/3, which it has 2+1/+1 counters on it, so it becomes a 5/5.
You see the humor here.
So it's too big for a Lava Coil. Our opponent might have a... Oh! It's not too big for a Rotting Regisaur. But we can turn this into a 3/3 as well. Surely you see the humor here. Alright. I think that's the play. We could also play this with 2+1/+1 counters and make it into a 5/5 also, and set the opponent about discarding cards to their Rotting Regisaur. I think we'll just tone this down.
Your new look is enchanting.
And we'll pay 2 life for you and get you out there, because we can turn this into a 5/5 next turn, and it gives us a blocker. And a Wicked Wolf. Whew. We'll just play defense with Oko. We should be able to win a long game against Rakdos. It's another 3 mana 3/3. It's another Trained Armadon. Alrighty. Let's keep elking it up in here.
Gaze into my face and put on your true shape.
I can keep a Reef here. It's just kind of a redraw, but it keeps moving us forward. And we'll make a food, and I don't think we need to do anything else. A second Oko here could make this into a 5/5. I don't think that's necessary, though. I think everything is just fine. I could play another Crassus. I really like holding the Crassus, to be honest, for more mana. So, just make a food here. Rankle is here. Okay. It says, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, each player discards a card, loses a life and draws a card, or sacks a creature. I guess I'm not very afraid of any of that. Like, I'll gladly discard the backup Oko I'm not using. Okay, the opponent is starting to get frisky. So if we take some of their creatures off the board and sacrifice our Goose, I mean, that's all fine. I guess I need to use this before the sacrifice trigger resolves, just in case, because we don't know what they pick. I guess I'll find out if we find out what they pick. And the opponent just... They were hoping, I guess, that I was too afraid of the Rankle, and that's not the way it played out. We've got turn 2 Druid, turn 3 Hydra, Oko, or Time Raveler, so there's no reason not to keep this hand. I'm grateful that I haven't had to mulligan in a little while. It's been nice. All right, you got Burning Red Sleeves and a Temple of Epiphany. Let's see what our opponent is up to. Scry to the top. Lots of things this could be. Arclight Phoenix, Jeskai Walkers, Grixis. A lot of options. A lot of options. Let's see where it goes. Okay. Temple of Mystery, scry to the top. Oh, we drew a Goose. Do we Oko and Goose? Or do we Reef? I think I Oko Goose. And I can start making 3/3s. Just right away, right? No food required. But there is a fear. No. No Deafening Clarion when I see Temple of Mystery. So yeah, let's start powering up the team. Let's start throwing monsters at the opponent. Why not? Growth Spiral. What'd it do? Our opponent can now get 2 lands onto the battlefield this turn if their hand cooperates. Breeding Pool, and they shock for it. And Steam Vents, and they shock for it. And another Spiral. This could be Temur Reclamation. So yeah, we're going to want to dial up the damage, and we're going to want to Teferi on the battlefield if it's Temur Rec, so they don't get to go off right now. So what do I want to do with the Oko? I think I'm probably... Well, I could turn the Leafkin into a 3/3. Is that the play? And just smash? I could turn the Goose into a 3/3. That's probably better, to be honest. And get the damage rolling. It's a little unfortunate to not have a land drop for the turn. But yeah, let's get frisky.
Gaze into my face and put on
That sounded closer to a Goose Honk. Plus this. Smash, smash. Down to 10. It's too bad I can't squeeze in one more damage somehow. There's Wilderness Reclamation, but that mana won't help you against Teferi. Man, if I had squeezed out something with a +1/+1 counter sooner, maybe this would be the end. So do I bounce this? The opponent would have to kill my Teferi and still use the Reclamation. I don't think they can. That doesn't mean it's the right play. I'm going to keep plussing.
Here goes nothing.
Let's see what we hit off the Risen Reef. If we hit a land, maybe I can afford to throw the Druid in there. No? No land. Alright, Goose. Come on down. Let's turn the... let's just make a food, I guess.
Welcome to the
Smash. Alright, can the opponent kill me? Can they go nuts? I could have had them on 1, and maybe I just do that to keep them from playing a shock land. I don't... Ugh. Those turns where I know the opponent's trying to go off, and I can get them close to dead but not quite dead, I have trouble with. It's something I need to work on. But in this case, the opponent just... I think the Teferi buried them, and they just couldn't get it. We're going for the 7th win, but this isn't the hand I want to take into that battle. This one is much closer. I feel like I have to throw back the Crassus again, though, and if I don't draw a Crassus to go with the Nissa, it's pretty bad. But I think this is the throwback. And we do get the go first, which I either want white or blue because of Teferi. I'll get blue. I have a lot more blue cards in the deck. Yeah, we've got to go through red, and of course we had to mulligan. Of course we have a more awkward draw than normal. It's red. Red always serves you up more pain than you deserve. They always jump you when you have a bad hand. It's just how it feels. I mean, we could just Oko into a Wicked Wolf if the opponent doesn't curve well, and if we draw a forest. And that could be amazing. Has the potential. In the tank on turn 2. I mean, it's Cavalcade if you have it, and Steamkin if you have it, but maybe the opponent's late in the stage. Ember Hauler. Okay. I think I try to hit a land here. If I play Oko and plus, the wolf is so good next turn, but if I don't draw the land, it's pretty bad. Then again, the opponent may just throw all their ammunition at the Oko, which buys time. What do you guys think the play is? This is a tough one for me, but I think it's the Reef. I think I just try to get deeper. That burns. Because in a world where this card weren't printed, this could have been a land. I'll trade with the Dodger. I'll aggressively trade my Reef. Stage got lit. 2 castles. 2 castle Embreths. Second Ember Hauler. Come on, Forest. I'll take it. Nom. Alright, let's fight. Let's do this, Wolfie boy. Need to be carried. Going face. To light the stage. And hit a skewer. Oh my god. Alright. Land off the top. Nissa who shakes the world. Hydroid Crassus, right? We'll be fine. We'll be fine. So let's animate our force so we can cast Once Upon a Time. And we need to untap. Last time I got this low against red, they just killed me. Can they do it here? Do they have the Slaying Fire, Skewer the Critics? They have Bone Crusher Giant my face. They have Bone Crusher Giant himself. 4/3, whenever becomes the target of a spell, deals 2 damage to the controller. Okay. That went better than I could have hoped for. Let's grab that Crassus. So that is 8. Crassus for 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Give me that life. Give me that monster. We could shock here to play a Leafkin Druid. Is there a world where that's good if the opponent... Like, if they have Active Treason, I die. So that's not worth playing around. But it's more mana next turn for an even bigger Crassus. Still... Can the opponent deal 8 to my face? Last time I said they couldn't, they did. So we'll play this tapped and see if I get punished. But that's the scoops. Holy crap. We got some red deck revenge. We got some red deck revenge. 7 wins, 1 loss. It was to another red deck. I probably could have played better to prevent that. This deck is powerful. Bring me the Magic Mirror Mythic reward. Sweet. I hope that you enjoyed this video with the Bant ramp deck. The combined power of Oko and Teferi is unreal. Nissa is a problem. Nissa and Hydroid Krasis are a super tag team, and the deck just offers so many cards that have frustrated you, plus some new ones. It is just simply a throw the power at the opponent, but it doesn't feel mindless. It does feel like there's decisions, and I like that in a deck. So what do you think of the deck? Let me know in the comments, and please consider liking and subscribing. And thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.